Hello and welcome to All About platform, and very good evening to very good afternoon to all of you. Hi, good afternoon everyone. I hope so I'm audible properly. Am I? Please let me know in the comment section if you find any glitch, any issues in audio and video especially. Am I audible, right? Okay. Please join. Hi. Very good afternoon, guys. Any doubts regarding your last class? And if you are watching this session in a recorded format, definitely you can ask your doubt or mention your doubt in a doubt window. Either me or my teaching assistant will answer all your query, right? Hi, very good afternoon. Okay, so in your previous class I have discussed a very important topic, that was your Maurya Empire, right? Now, in today's session, we are going to cover two major topics. First is the post-Mauryan age, little bit important, not too much, because you just have to memorize the main dynasty and the founder and the last ruler of that particular dynasty. That's all. Especially in the post-Mauryan age, a time period after the Maurya or before the Gupta Empire. Okay. And then after, we will also try to cover one more very important chapter in a history part, is your Gupta Empire. So in today's session, the Gupta Empire is more important as comparison to your post-Mauryan age. Okay. Any doubts regarding your last class? Okay. Shall we start? Okay. Okay. So let's begin this session with a very important chapter. Sorry, not so important chapter. And that chapter name is the Post-Mauryan age, or you can call it as a Post-Maurya Empire. Okay. Post-Maurya time is usually termed as the time period after the Ashoka, or you can say a time period or a ruling part in a northern India, in a some part of Deccan Plateau, basically. So this particular time period is termed as the post-Mauryan age. Now, see here, if we talk about the year, so in this chapter, you just have to focus the important, the dynasty or the vansh, and you just have to focus the founder and the last and first ruler. That's all. Apart from that, there's no so much significance of this chapter in your competitive exam. Now, so the period, just a minute, let me check which color is okay on this. Black. See, so basically the period from 200 before Christ onward is known as a post-Mauryan period. Okay, it did not witness a large empire or a large any dynasty, right? Whoever ruled in this part. See, now, did not witness any large empire like the Mauryan, but it is known for the intimate contact between the Central Asia and India part, right? Soon after the Ashok's death, several small kingdoms declared their independence and they started their empire by their own, right? For example, first of all, who was the last ruler of the Maurya Empire? So Vrihadat was the last ruler of Maurya Empire. Okay. Now, Vrihadat was killed by his chief minister Pushyamitra Shung, and Pushyamitra Shung founded the Shunga dynasty after the Maurya Empire. See here what they have write. So basically ended with the assassination of the last Mauryan king Vrihadat. So first of all, who was the last Maurya ruler? Vrihadat was the last ruler. He was killed by whom? He was killed by Pushyamitra Shung. Okay, the Mauryan army chief. Now, the Mauryan were succeeded by Shung. Then after, Shung were succeeded by Kandavs. The Kandavs were succeeded by Satavahan or Padlar part in the central and south India. So basically, in a post-Mauryan age, you just have to cover your three major dynasties. First is Shung, second is Kandav, and third is Satavahan. Clear? Now, further, northwestern India, the northwestern part, that means this area. Several Central Asian invasion by Indo-Greek of Bactria, Saka, Pratihan, Kushan were also ruled in a different, or you can say in a northwestern region of India. Clear? So what happened after the Maurya Empire? Basically, the Maurya Empire or the main Bihar region, the main northern region was ruled by Shung dynasty because Pushyamitra Shung killed Vrihadat, the last ruler, and he founded the Shung dynasty in a northern India. What happened in a northwest region of India? So basically, there were different small dynasties ruled. For example, Shak, for example, Pratihan or Pratishtans, or you can call them a Kushans. Okay, so this was a major part of Asia and the Central Asia part in India during the post-Mauryan Empire. Now, basically, in this chapter, you just have to memorize the founder. Apart from this, nothing is important. See here. So first of all, the Shung dynasty. This is your Shung dynasty, just immediate after the Maurya. Ruler is Pushyamitra Shung, timing 185 before Christ to 149. Pushyamitra Shung established the Shung dynasty. He was initially a Mauryan army chief who assassinated the last Maurya king Vrihadat in 180 before Christ and usurped the throne of Patliputra or the Bihar region. Right? This overthrow is considered a Brahminical reaction to the enormous pathogen given to Buddhism by the Mauryans. Okay, so I guess this part is more than sufficient for you that Vrihadat was the last ruler and he was killed by Shung. Now, Pushyamitra had to defend his territories against the Greek invader, especially from the north Afghanistan region. Okay, so this was the region of Shung dynasty. Okay, here was the Patliputra where the whole Mauryan empire actually formed. But as you already know that during the time of Ashoka, the spread of Mauryan was very fast. So that is why this complete area was ruled by Maurya empire, but soon it was headed by the Shunga dynasty, right? Then after. Pushyamitra Shung was succeeded by his son, very important, by his son Agni Mitra. Here you will receive a one question. See, we know him from a Kalidas 4th century novel Malvagni Mitram. So Malvagni Mitram is a novel of Kalidas in which he describe a one lead role, and that lead role is around the Agni Mitra. Okay, portraying him as the hero. Unlike his father, he was a patron of Buddhism and reconstructed the Sanchi Stup and made his own addition to the structure. Okay, then after, very important segment. See, Heliodorus, the Greek ambassador, erected a Garuda pillar at Nagar or the Vidisha part, MP, Madhya Pradesh region during the ruling of Shung dynasty. You have received this question, I guess, in a tier 1 part, right? Then after, Patanjali, the writer of Yoga Sutra, was a contemporary of Pushyamitra Singh. So I guess you can connect the type of questions here. For example, there's a question: who was the writer of Yoga Sutra? Patanjali was the contemporary of which dynasty or contemporary of which among the ruler, right? Pushyamitra, sorry, Kalidas wrote a one novel which is surrounded on which is based on the son of Pushyamitra Shung, Agnimitra. The novel name was Malvagni Mitra. Okay, so these type of question usually arise from the post-Mauryan age. Getting my point or not? Now, next is Kandav dynasty, or you can say Kandav Vansh. 72 before Christ to 28. According to the Harsh Charit, okay, because the whole history is based on the different sources. So, according to the Harsh Charit, Devabhuti, the last king of Shung. So, Pushyamitra Shung was the first ruler or the founder, and Devabhuti was the last ruler of Shung dynasty. Clear? Now, Devabhuti, the last king of Shung, was murdered by his minister Vasudev. That means Kandav dynasty was founded by Vasudev. So, who was the founder? Vasudev. That's all. Okay, became the founder of Kandav dynasty. They ruled over Magadh part. In the Deccan, Andhras overthrew them, and the Satavahan dynasty was established. So in northern India, they were succeeded by lesser known smaller kingdom such as the Mitra or the Kaushambi part. Okay, so just a Kandav Vansh, Vasudev was the founder. He killed Devbhuti, who was the last ruler of Shung dynasty. Clear? Impact of Shung and Kandav. See, this is important. So Hinduism were revived, and with that, Varna system also got a new lease of life. So in a Vedic part, in a Rig Vedic part, the Aparushai is mentioned, right? The Varna system or the society was divided on the Varnas, right? Uh, then after, in a case of Magad or the Maurya, the one system was not so open. But yes, in a case of Hindu, this Shung and Kandav, because these are the completely Hinduism rulers, so they completely imposed the one system. Sanskrit gained prominence, and eventually even Buddhism texts started being composed in Sanskrit. Otherwise, the original language of Buddhism and the Jainism was Prakrit and Pali, okay, respectively. In ancient Punjab and the adjoining territories, tribal or Gana Sangh polities, the Udabram or Arjunayan, Yudhisha, these are the some important independent principalities during these dynasties. Okay, so there's no need to cover these. Now, they also mark some coin. So these kind of coins they have mentioned. We will discuss it. See, Indo-Greek coins, very important. Indo-Greeks were the first to mint gold coin. Okay, there's a lot of time they have asked this question. Who introduced the first gold coin? If the Guptas is not mentioned, definitely the Indo-Greeks will be mentioned. Okay, so they were the first to mint gold coin in India, the main point for you, which increased in number during the Kushan. Okay, so the maximum number of gold coin minted during the Kushan time. Otherwise, the introduction came into the Indo-Greeks time. Unlike the punch marked coin used that time, Maurya, they minted their coin, which were definitely attributed to the kings. Now, Central Asia is not that much important now. The Shak dynasty is somewhat important for you now. So the Indo-Scythian or Shak dynasty, Shak, okay, Sakas also known as, followed the Greeks, who control a much larger part of India than the Indo-Greek. The Shak were initially steppe tribes or pushed by the Yuji tribes southwest, and they entered in India through a Bolan Pass. Okay. No need to cover the political part of Shaka. I have just now you have a question that why you mentioned the slide, because some students are there who generally ask these type of terms, so that is why I have mentioned. Otherwise, there's no more significance in a case of your exam point of view. Kushan dynasty, somewhat important. Kushan dynasty, so first of all, the Kushans were one of the 5 clans of Eurydice, or you can say a particular tribe, which starting ruling in a northern area. Okay, they had already pushed Ashak and Pratihan out of Central Asia over many times. Kujula Cutfisses, or you can call him as a Kuzul Cutfisses. Kuzul Cutfisses organized the 5 tribes and marched towards India and establish a territory. Then after, Kanishk. This part is important as per your exam point of view. So Kanishk basically succeeded the house of Cutfisses. He is the most famous Kushan ruler. We know about his territories. From the source of knowledge of Kushan is Rabatak inscription. This is a main inscription which describe the Kushan success. Okay, it was previously believed that he adopted the Shak calendar in 78 AD, which the government of India now uses. This question has been also asked. The government of India use which calendar as per the ancient time? So basically, the government of India used this 78 AD calendar, or the Shaka calendar, the Shaks calendar. Okay. Now, according to the Rabatak inscription, Kanish Empire extended from the Oxus, that means North Afghanistan, in the west of Patliputra, from here to this, okay, to Patliputra in the east, from Kashmir, this region, in the north, or Sanchi, the MP region, okay, with the Mathura occupying the position of the second capital, and Purushpur, the Peshawar area, was the imperial capital. So there's a lot of time they were asked a question, the capital of Kushan. Kushan's capital is important. So first of all, Mathura was the second capital, and the Peshawar was the imperial capital. So first of all, the Peshawar. There's a lot of time they've asked this question. The first capital was Peshawar, second was Mathura. Okay, they two likely they are part. Okay. Remember, we have heard about a Kushan in a fourth Buddhist council, right? See, Kushan rulers accepted the prevalent Indian and Chinese concept of the divinity of kingship. He patronized Buddhism, okay, and is presumed to have hosted the fourth Buddhist council in first century. Where this fourth Buddhist council held? Answer in a comment box, please. Kushan organized this fourth Buddhist council where? Anyone? No one is interested, huh, to give an answer. Kundalwan, Kashmir, exactly. Kundalwan, Kashmir. Okay, now the early Kushan king issued gold coin with a higher degree of metallic purity than in the Gupta age. So basically, even the maximum number of gold coin minted during his time only, right? The reverse of the Kushan coins bear Indian or Hindu and Buddhist, Greek and Persia symbol, and some important religious deities on the Kushan majors coin. Kashmir, exactly. Now, at this time, Chakra. Now, the literature part, see here. Charak, sorry. Charak wrote the Charak Sahita, okay, during his time period. So, there's a question that Charak wrote his Charak Sahita during which of the following ruler, right? And contributed immensely to Ayurveda. So, Charak Sahita is associated with somewhat Ayurveda part. Charak Sahita is best noted for its formula for preparing major composition of Chyawanprash, right? Buddhist scholar Ashwa Ghosh, the founder of Madhyamika school, or you can say a Mahayana Buddhism, a category, said to have found a place in Kanishka court. Okay, so Ashwaghosh was also placed in a Kanishka court, sorry, Kushan court. The Kushan Empire in Afghanistan and west of India was supplanted in the mid 3rd century by the Sassanian Empire, now the Iran part. Okay, so these are the literature part. The military influence, the Shak and Kushan introduced better cavalry and use of riding horse on a large scale. Question. Now, they also popularized the use of reins and saddle and toe strap, which facilitate their movement part two for their army. Cultural, so yes, they used to follow this. Trade route is very important because the silk route is very popular during the Kanishk time. See, the Kushan control the silk route. Anybody having any idea regarding the silk route? Okay, it is already mentioned. Okay, no issue. Which begins from China and passed through the empire in a Central Asia and Afghanistan to Iran and West Asia. In a CGL part, they have asked this question: the route, the Silk Route way. Okay, so that is why this route was a greater source of income, which was actually a major trade route during this Central Asia part. The Altai mountain in Central Asia provided a significant amount of gold to India. Very important. Kushan also promoted agriculture part, earliest archaeological traces of irrigation in part of Afghanistan, Pakistan, Western Central Asia. Clear? So you just have to memorize these points, or the remembering, you have to remember these points, because I think there's no other way, right? Okay, moving to the next part. Now, the polity is not so much important, or the shaka part. Okay. Just a minute. Mm. Bodhicharitra Ashwagosha, I have already discussed this part, I guess. The Charak part you have covered in a science background. So this was a conclusion. Okay, see. So this was your post-Mauryan age. Try to cover, see, what we have covered in this section. Especially, there's a summary. So in a case of post-Maurya, start this post-Maurya with the Shunga dynasty. Then after Kanvas. Then after Satavahanas. That's all. Okay. Apart from this, Kushan or Kanishka. These are the major segment of your post-Mauryan empire. Now, if you feel any doubts in a post-Mauryan empire, please do let me know in a comment box. Any issues? Kalinga dynasty. Kalinga dynasty was actually, see, in our Indian history syllabus or in your competitive syllabus, the Kalinga dynasty just a small part when the Ashok fought a war, the Kalinga war, with the Nanjraj, a ruler of Kalinga dynasty. That's all. There's no need to cover the whole Kalinga dynasty actually. They've never asked this question. If you find any question from a Kalinga dynasty, please let me know, because I have not seen any question from a Kalinga dynasty. Anyone? Guys, please answer me. Uh, Kharvel, you have to cover this section in a post-Gupta empire, not in a post-Maurya empire. We will cover the Chedi, Chalukya, Pratihar, Chaluk, Badami Chaluks after the Gupta empire, or in a case of post-Gupta empire. But still not, we are not going to cover the whole Kalinga dynasty still. There's a different dynasty of, see, uh, these are called the Kharvelas of Kaling. Okay. Okay. Cool. Moving to the next topic, and your next topic is actually very important, and the topic name is Gupta Empire. Now, Gupta is somewhat very important segment in our Indian history. Type of question generally asked from this topic, and the question type is somewhat they can ask a question from a Gupta Empire especially. First of all, the ruler related question. Second is sources of Gupta rulers. Okay. Then after, the coins of Gupta ruler. Then after, the titles of Gupta ruler. These are the major question they have asked in your previous exams, basically. So title, then after the main sources, then after the sources, coins and titles are the major part of Gupta Empire. Okay, so let's start this section now. First of all, the Gupta Empire was established by the Shri Gupta. So there's a very short part of their founder and the successor. Then after there's a list of independent ruler of Gupta Empire. So firstly, in a case of Gupta Empire, it was founded in the 319 or 320 AD to 550 AD. Shirigupta was the founder of the Gupta dynasty and the Gupta Empire, and it's Singh who visited India during 671 to 695 AD refers to Shirigupta as the builder of the temple for the Chinese pilgrims. Okay, so actually there's a one source found that Shirigupta, which called it that Shirigupta and his son Ghatotkach was the successor of Gupta dynasty, but there's a separate list of the independent ruler of Gupta dynasty or the Gupta Empire we found. Okay, so you just have to keep in mind that Shirigupta was the founder and his son Ghatotkach became a next successor or the next ruler of a Gupta Empire. Okay, or the Gupta dynasty. Now, see, this Shirigupta, he was the founder of Gupta Empire, and usually his title name was termed as Adiraj. Actually, there is a one source which is a Prabhavati Gupta inscription, which is actually a copper plate, right? It is a kind of copper plate source of knowledge of Prabhavati Gupta inscription, which mention that the Shirigupta was the founder of Gupta dynasty and he got the title name Adi Raj. Okay. Then after, Ghatotkach became a next ruler of Gupta Empire. Clear? Chandragupta's first title name was Maharaj Adiraj. Maharaja sometime he termed as. Okay, see. Now let's talk about, there's a list of Gupta Empire's ruler. Firstly, we will describe it. If we talk about the independent rulers of Gupta Empire, the sequence is very important because there's a many times they've asked a question in a sequence case. First, for example, the first ruler was Chandragupta first. Second, Samudragupta. Third, Chandragupta Vikramaditya. Or you can call him as a Chandragupta II. Right. Fourth ruler, anyone? The fourth ruler, Kumargupta. And the last ruler of Gupta dynasty was Skandgupta. So again, you have to know this sequence. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay. So 5 rulers approximate you have to cover in a case of Chandragupta part. Oh, sorry, in a Gupta part. Okay. Ramgupta, actually the time period of Ramgupta was very short. So that is why we usually we could not consider him as a ruler. Sometimes it is mentioned in a book, sometimes it is not. So before the Chandragupta Vikramaditya or just after the Samudragupta, Ramgupta became a ruler. No worries, I will describe him. Okay. Now, let's start with the very first ruler, and your first ruler is Chandragupta first. So, Chandragupta first is your first ruler or the first independent ruler. He is regarded as a true founder of the Gupta Empire. He married to a Lichvi princess, Kumar Devi. This question has been asked in your exam part, right? So, Chandragupta first. First of all, he was the first important and first independent ruler of Gupta Empire. Okay. Now, if we talk about the title of Chandragupta, so as he got that title is Maharaj Adhiraj. His title name was Maharaj Adhiraj. He took this title. Firstly, to strengthen their empire, he got married to Lichvi princess. Right. He also started era. He also started the Gupta era. 319 AD to 320 AD. Okay, and then after the Chandragupta, so he, basically he ruled in a Gupta empire and the region. Yes. So this was the empire part of Gupta empire. So almost a Deccan plateau and the northern region especially they covered in a Gupta's empire. Now let's talk about the next ruler or the second ruler of Gupta empire is Samudragupta. See. Maharaj Adhiraj, he issued gold coin. Okay. Now, let's talk about the Samudragupta part. First of all, Samudragupta was a perfect ruler of Gupta Empire, and he succeeded his father Chandragupta first. He has been called as the Indian Napoleon or the Napoleon of India by V.A. Smith, a great historian. So he called him as a Napoleon of India. Why? Uh, uh, Depending on the one inscription, there's a story that he killed 12 southern ruler and 9 northern ruler in a one take. So that is why he's termed as the Napoleon of India, or that is why he's termed as the perfect ruler of Gupta empire, right? Shirigupta is the main founder. Uh, if they have not mentioned the Shirigupta in an option, in that case you can take on the Chandragupta first, because he was the first independent ruler, or usually because his term period or the tenure is something long as comparison to Shirigupta. That is why he termed him as a true founder. Otherwise, the main founder is Shirigupta. Okay, now he issued, sorry, Samudragupta was the first ruler of Gupta Empire who performed a one yajan, that is a Ashwamedh yajan. So in a Ashwamedh yajan, he left a one horse. A horse passes uh, through any dynasty or any region. That particular region comes under a main ruler. From the horse belongs to him, and then after, if someone doesn't wants to give his particular dynasty or the region, then there's a beginning of war. Okay, so this is a part of the Ashmegh Yajan, and the Samudragupta was the first ruler who organized or performed this Ashmegh Yajan. Very important. He issued archer type, tiger type, and battle types of coin. On some of his gold coin, he is represented playing the veena, which shows that he was the music lover. This question has been asked, which of the following Gupta ruler was the music lover? So Samudragupta is assumed or supposed to be a lover of music. Why? Because there are some coins shows that he played a veena. This was a coin, a gold coin. Okay. Now, he's also called as Kavi Raj. Do not get confused with the Kavi Raj and the Raj Kavi, because Raj Kavi is a different title, but Kavi Raj is used for the Samudragupta only, for the king of poets. He died in 380 AD and succeeded by his son Chandragupta II. But apart from this, there's a one very important source of Samudragupta's Prayag Prashasti, which is also termed as the Allahabad inscription. This Prayag Prashasti was written by his court poet Hari Sen, who described his each and every battle, who described his each and every success in this inscription part, a Prayag Prashasti especially. Okay, then after, okay, then after, if we talk about the inscription, there's a one more inscription is very popular in a case of Samudragupta. It is a Aaron inscription. In a Aaron inscription, there's a mentioning of his wife, Samudragupta's wife, Datta Devi, as his wife. Only in a Aaron inscription. Then after, Samudragupta also declared his court language was completely Sanskrit. Okay, two Buddhist monks, Asang and Vasubandhu, lived in Samudragupta court. Lived in his court. Okay, then after, so basically he was a perfect and he was the longest ruler of Gupta Empire especially, right? And Kaviraj was his main title. Okay, why he's termed as a Kaviraj? There's a one literature which is a Krishna Charitam. Charitam attributed to him. Okay, clear? Anyone? Any doubts regarding a Samudragupta especially? There's a lot of inscriptions or there's a lot of titles of Samudragupta, which I'm not going to mention here because there's a separate list of title and the sources. Okay, clear? Can I move? Guys, any doubts? Hello. Actually, Krishna Charitam is a kind of literature, which is a collection of poems surrounding to, or you can say, devoted to Krishna, which was written by Samudragupta. So that is why it is a Krishna Charitam. Kind of literature. Now, moving to the next part. So after, sorry, what is left? Okay. Now, the Chandragupta II. Timing is 380 to 415 AD. Under his reign, the Gupta Empire reached its highest glory because of this. And Datta Devi was his mother. See, because Datta Devi was the wife of Samudragupta, depending on the Aaron inscription, and Datta Devi was the mother of Chandragupta II. That means he was the son of Samudragupta, right? After the victory over Sakas, he adopted the title of Vikramaditya. They have asked this question. After the victory of Dash, the Chandragupta II got the title of Vikramaditya. So after the victory of Shakas, he got the title of Vikramaditya. After his conquest, Ujjain became the second capital of Gupta Empire. Mehrauli Iron Pillar, which is situated at the area of this Qutub Minar part. Again, inscription says that defeated the confederacy of a Vedang and the Wahi class. And during the region, Fahyan visited in India between 405 to 411 AD. Very important part, right? Kalidas, Varamihir, Dhanvantri, Amar Singh reside in his court. So actually, the Chandragupta Vikramaditya had 9 gems in his court. Kalidas, Dhanvantri, Chaprak, Shanku, Varuchi, Varamihir, Amar Singh, Sat. What is left? Varamihir, Dhanvantri, Varuchi, Ghatkarpar, one more. Kalidas, Dhanvantri, Chaprak, Shanku, Ghatkarpar, Varuchi. Okay, and someone is left. I think I don't know why I'm not remembering it. Kalidas, Dhanvantri, Chaprak, Shanku, Ghatkarpar, Varuchi, Varamihir, Amar Singh. One is missing. Shanku is done. Shanku is done. Ghatkarpar, Chaprak. I don't know. Okay. Give me a time and Betal Bhatt. Betal Bhatt. Betal Bhatt. Thank you so much. Sorry. Okay. Betal Bhatt also. Okay. So these were the 9 gems of Chandragupta's court. Okay. Now, next is Kumar Gupta. Kumar Gupta, he succeeded his father Kumar Gupta as a Kumar Gupta first, and he adopted the title of Mahendra Aditya, Ajit Mahendra, Shri Mahendra. These type of titles basically Kumar Gupta assumed. He founded the monastery of Nalanda, very important part. Kalidas flourished in the region of the both Chandragupta II and the Kumar Gupta first. Actually, Kumar Gupta was died due to the Huns. Huns killed him. Okay, and when Huns killed him, his son Skandagupta became our next ruler, and he first of all he repaired the dam of Sudarshan Lake. His greatest enemy were Huns, fierce Barbarian tribe which lived in a Central Asia part, or Bhitriya stone or Bhitri inscription in Gazipur district is described the Skandagupta part. Okay, and he killed or he defeated the Huns. The main ruler or the king of Huns was Mihirkul. Okay. Then after, he assumed the title Vikramaditya, Devraj and Shakapan or Shakropan sometime. So this was a part of your Gupta's ruler. First was Chandragupta first, Maharaj Adhiraj was the main title. Then after Samudragupta, the perfect one. Then after Chandragupta second, who was the main poetic part, or 9 gems were the main part. Then after Kumar Gupta, and then after Skandagupta. Now, the kingdom was divided into the number of provinces called Bhukti. Very important. Sometimes they can ask you a question like in a Gupta empire, the kingdom was divided into. Usually this type of question asked in a Mughal and the Delhi Sultanate part. But yes, in a case of Gupta Empire, it is also important. So Bhukti were the region in a case of Gupta Empire. The north and the Mandala or Mandalam in the south. The governor of the Bhukti called Upkrika. Now, the Kumaratyas were the most important officer of Gupta Empire who were in charge of several portfolios. This was a post actually. Okay. Gupta period, army was to be fed by the people when it passed through the countryside. This tax was called Sena Bhatta. Okay, very important. Now, the literature. The Gupta period is remarkable for the development of the Sanskrit literature, and the Kalidas, who is known as the Shakespeare of India, reside in the court of Chandragupta II and the Kumarko. He wrote some Sanskrit classic literature, for example, Malvagni Mitram, which is again surrounded the Agni Mitra. Remember the Pushyamitra Shunga son Agni Mitra. Kumar Sambhav. Apart from this, Abhijanas Shakuntalam or Abhigyan Shakuntalam were the literature of Kalidas. Raghuvamsa, Meghdhutam or Vikramo Vaishya. These are the main literature of Kalidas. Vishaknath also contributed to the Sanskrit literature by writing a Mudra Rakshas and Devi Chandragupta. Okay. Then after Mrachi Katika or the little clay cart was written by Sudrak. These are the literature part of Gupta Empire. Vishnu Sharanam wrote Panchtantra and Amar Singh wrote Amar Kosh, very important, in the time of Gupta. Bhavabuddhi wrote Uttarayam Charita and the Malati Madhava. You have to memorize these books' name and the writer name as well. Religion, they were the complete the Hinduism or the Vaishnav religion they use. Okay. Okay, this was the main part of your Gupta Empire. Still, there are two lists left. The one list I will share, that is your Gupta king, and then after list of Gupta inscription and the coins especially. Okay, so I will add those lists in your PDF. You can just go through the list and try to memorize the whole topic. Okay. Any doubts from a Gupta and the post-Mauryan age especially? See, these are the complete theory part. So you just have to revise the history part on a day basis, right? Or on a daily basis. See, the golden time period of Hindus ruler is the Gupta part. The golden time period of coins or the golden time period of currency, again the Gupta's part. Okay. Those who are leaving a class, please leave your feedback, everyone, please. CA list? What is CA list? The current affair part. Acha. Constitution amendment part. Okay. 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 Any other doubts? I will add these lists soon. Okay. Till then, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to give a feedback, everyone. Thank you. We'll meet you in our next class. Bye-bye and thanks.